Just a real quick note to the students and the parents. Um, all of there's what we have really done no real life application with any of this stuff, and I know that that kind of stinks, and I wish we could do more, but our progress has kind of been slowed. So I'm really just trying to get the meat and the potatoes, the mechanics of all of this stuff. And next year, when these guys are taking Algebra 1, then we'll get to see a lot more real life application being applied to it. I just need to make sure that we can mechanically do this stuff and that the kids have seen it so that they'll be ready for Algebra 1 next year. So I'm sorry that a lot of the stuff is missing real life application. You might be wondering, how in the world will I ever use this? Trust me, it's a building blocks of knowledge. It's a building blocks of being able to do the math required. So stay with me. I know it's not real exciting, but it is important. Thanks. Students, parents, you should know my phone number, but man, I really need you to call me if you have any questions. Okay, 406-651-9072. All right, enjoy the lesson. Bye.
All right, so we're going to continue on with where we've been before, graphing two variable linear inequalities. These are actually two separate equations. You say, now wait a minute, Mr. Palin, I thought you said it was two variables. Okay, in this case, it's actually one variable, but we're doing it on a two variable plane. And you will see some of these, okay? You will see these on the quiz. All right, so we've talked about this before, but if it says y is greater than -5, obviously there is no x in it. So what that tells you then is this line is never going to cross the x-axis, right? Remember, here's our x-axis. Here's our y-axis. Okay? So if we go, oh, y -5, okay, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? And now, it's strictly greater than, so that means I have to have a dotted line. Okay? And then we're shading everything greater. Well, greater's above, right? On top of the roof. Okay, so there it is. That is y is greater than -5. Okay, now, what if we were going to do x is less than or equal to -2? Okay, well, obviously, the x means that this equation has no y's in it, right? So I have to go over here to 2, 1, 2. All right, solid line now because it's equal to. So hopefully that looks somewhat straight. Okay, solid line because it's equal to. Now it says less than. Now this is the one time where there really isn't a top of a roof, is there? But you guys know what less than is. Less than is over here like this. Okay, now this is the only time you're going to have problem number 8 today, where I'm going to have you put two equations on one graph. Okay, on all the others, I want one equation, one graph. Okay, I'm going to do one more example, and then you're going to have 6 problems that you're going to do today. Then on Thursday, I'm going to give you a quiz. Okay, then when we roll back in, okay, remember that this school, there's only 4 days of school this week, so we're just doing lessons on Tuesday, Thursday. Starting next week, we'll do something different. We're going to actually start doing some exponential growth. So we're going to get away from linear equations altogether. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do one more example of problems that are going to be pretty much like what you're going to do today. So as you can see, we're back to one equation, two variables. We're solving for y, getting it put into slope-intercept form, but we're dealing with the inequality. So this is just like the last assignment. Nothing new, just a little bit more practice today. Then we're going to have a 5-question quiz on Thursday. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to subtract. So first of all, got to bring the 3x over. So I have -5y equals -3x plus 15. Okay, so divide both sides by -5, divide by -5, divide by -5, divide by -5. Okay, y equals, not equals, That's supposed to be a less than sign, isn't it? Okay. Oh, but guess what happened? I divided by a negative, didn't I? So what should, it turns from a less than, whenever you divide by a negative, it turns into a greater than. Okay? 3/5 x minus 3. Okay? Now, from there, I come over here. Okay, and I'm going to graph this sucker. I do have a ruler here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, dotted line or solid line? Dotted, right? Because there is no equal. Okay. And it's greater than, right? Y is greater than. Mr. Palin, how do I know that that's greater? Well, it's greater because the alligator is eating the Y, right? The alligator's always going to eat the bigger number. So the way you'd read that is Y is greater than 3/5 x minus 3. So if it's greater, we're shading above. Okay. All right, so that's example number 2. Now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to give you a picture. Then I'm going to give you a chance to push pause. And then I'm going to solve it, push pause, graph it. Okay, I just want you to work through each problem with me. Now, the real key here is, people, is that I'm going to give you the answers because I want you to get immediate feedback whether or not you're doing it right or not. And if I'm not there, I can't give you immediate feedback. But you have to do the first step to the best of your ability, get feedback, make the adjustments if needed, and then do the next step. But if you don't walk through the steps with me, then by the time we get to the quiz, it's not going to be any good. Okay? All right, here come the regular problems. All right, here's your first problem. Get it copied down. The very first thing that I want you to do is I want you to solve for y. After you get that done, push play on the video and see if you did it right. All right, so you notice that I brought that over. That's where I got my negative 2x divided by 7. Okay, now notice that I did not divide by a negative 7. I divided by a positive 7. Okay, and so once you divide both sides by 7, then that means I did not have to flip my inequality. 28 divided by 7 is 4. Okay, if you got that right, then now graph it. If you didn't get it right, make some adjustments. All right, so there it is. We started at 4, down 2, over 7, right? Has to be a solid line because it's less than or equal to. Solid line, less than, so we shade below. All right, make whatever corrections you got to make. And then whatever mistakes you made in this one, learn from those mistakes and do better on number 4. Okay, so there's problem number 4. Get a copy down. Push pause on the video. And then solve for y. There she is. Now you'll notice I had to divide by a negative 6, right? So I flip my inequality. Now, 4/6 can be reduced down to 2/3. So I actually like this way better. If you got it here, y is less than 4/6 x plus 4, that's fine. It's going to work. Up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3 is the same as up 4 over 6. So they're both the same exact answer. I don't care which one you change it to. If it was me, I would reduce it and change it to this one. It makes it easier to graph. So there's the graph. We started at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3. Would have been right about there. Okay, dotted line, right? Dotted line. And it's less than, so we're shading everything less. All right, if you made any mistakes, make your corrections. Try to learn from your mistakes and do it right on the next one.